engineering, and my project was application of artificial intelligence in material science. Mainly, I focused on the nanocomposite and also heat rate formation in the different application. And also for the drug discovery, I could publish 2 papers for these 2 former application. But unfortunately for drug discovery, I just had a conference publication. And I came to the US for my PhD. But first I did my master in material science and engineering in University of Central Florida in Dr. Sudipta Sil lab. It's very well known. It's the dean of the department. Yeah. And I was working in the funded project in a chemical mechanical polishing. And the funded project is done, and I can say I had to leave, and I started the PhD program in the chemistry. And I did my chemistry in the my PhD in the chemistry program. And last I can say last couple of years before pandemic, I have a person that happened for my GPA. And the project that I worked, it was in the organic light sensitive compounds. Okay. And now the thing is that I am in the last semester of my PhD. I have a requirement for defense until December. I have a 3 paper, ongoing 3 paper, and I think end of the August they're gonna be submitted. But my advisor told me that since the department not gonna give you GTA for the spring semester, I have the project that you can work on that as a researcher, and I can give you some money. So, and this time you can apply for the job. But now the most important thing that currently I have is that I applied for the NIW, and I received the RFE, request for evidence, and it needed my current plan and my future plan. And for the future plan, it's highly recommended that have a postdoc opportunity. And now I can say that if I can have a postdoc opportunity, postdoc letter, offer letter, so it's going to be completely different. And I have a RFE package complete. Just I need a postdoc offer. And
this
if
is for,
I have
this is for your
green card. Yeah, okay. NIW. So if I get approved, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be completely different, the situation. And my PI told that I don't have any funded project, and it's not very nice, and I can give you just something like a letter of interest for the postdoc. And now this is my situation, that I was concerned about the GPA, and also now the most important thing is about the green card issue, because it seems that with this letter I can get approved, and without that it's going to be a very huge challenge for me. And the deadline for that is 1 month or 2 months probably, because of COVID they just extended. And now I have a 3, according to the postdoc situation, I have a 3 possibilities. First, I can ask my advisor that, okay, so let me to graduate by December, because I have a requirement of graduation. I have a 3 paper ongoing paper is already written, and it just need a final submission or final revision. And this is first possibility. And I as the main goal for the possible postdoc position. But the thing is that when I see that the competition between the people that are applying for the postdoc, they already published a paper. And because of my situation, my last published paper, my last ISI paper was 2014. And after that, I just have a conference paper from my master. And now I'm thinking that, okay, so it's going to be hard for me to find a postdoc, because the postdoc is very important for me. Another case scenario is that if I can apply for internship for the spring semester, because I'm thinking that the knowledge that I got from artificial intelligence in material science, and now from my background that I have in the organic photochemistry and my organic chemistry knowledge, I can combine them and I can probably merge it to the some area like application of artificial intelligence in material science or drug discovery. So I can work in this area and I can publish. Actually, I'm working on the publication of one paper, and it's not very hard because I had the knowledge of that, and now I just need to learn some new, I can say what it's called, deep chem.
Okay,
And
I think Ali, I got a good idea. So if I understood correctly, your concerns are as follows. If I have to summarize, one is your GPA is low. I mean, from your email, I got it understood that you are trying to figure it out how to make it better within your last semesters, because you don't have like 2 years, you have just one semester,
one or two, yeah.
one or two to the maximum, and uh, how to do it. And at the same time, if you take more courses, you have to put money from your pocket. Let me ask you this question. Why you what is your reason to think if you get a little bit better GPA, let's say you get A score in one two courses or whatever you are planning to take, how much is going to jump your GPA? Is it going to I assume it's going to increase maybe 0.2, 0.3, not more than that, maximum
You are
0.2,
right.
right? Because you just two courses, right? So
you're right.
and then on the top for doing that, you have to pay probably close to 7,500 or $10,000 from your pocket, right? So so my question to you is, what is your reasoning behind saying, okay, let me invest that much money so that my GPA goes little better, and it's going to help me for what? Like getting a job or in your PR? What's the idea behind that?
Actually, it was not my idea. It was just came to my mind.
Yeah, but why? What's the reason?
Yeah, because I was thinking that every internship position or every job position that they apply, they ask for GPA. And I know that, as I mentioned, I mentioned it to you, I think that high GPA, something like 3.8 to 4 is very good. Beside of that, for example, 3.
Yeah. So that is the reason I'm saying it's not going to go to 3.8. So see, the reason I say, I will give you my example, right? My GPA was always on the, I think it, if I'm not wrong, it's like 3.6 or something. 3.56 or 3.65, something like that for my PhD. But my master's GPA was 4.0. So I can tell you, so here how it works. Let's talk about a couple of scenarios, and then we're gonna go to PR thing. If you're talking about industry jobs, right, versus postdoc, let's say, so you apply for a postdoc, whether your GPA matters. In my opinion, for a postdoc, GPA does not matter as far as your advisor provides you a good letter of recommendation. Okay, that's plain and simple. Big, and I can tell you, if your advisor helps you to get you a postdoc, that's even better. Either your advice, what I'm saying, you the only, I would say 90% of the chance of any graduate student getting a postdoc is if you have some sort of a network or link or a connection with a person. 90 or more than that, to be honest with you. Postdocs always work on referrals. They never, so it is highly unlikely that there will be a postdoc opening and the advisor selects someone randomly. I have not heard of it. I know myself who did his postdoc, and I know my friends who did their postdoc. I know my juniors who did their postdoc. I know even now, I have my friends who are faculty members, and they ask me, "Hey, can you suggest someone who is whom we can hire?" So what I'm trying to tell you is, postdocs always work on referral. If you are applying randomly for a postdoc, I would say your chances of getting it is very, very small. Your advisor or any person in who is in your thesis committee has to be on board. Okay, do you get my point?
Yeah. I
Okay,
also I
and for
followed
that,
all of.
and for that, GPA does not matter.
Mhm.
That's number one. Your research matters. Your statement, your letter of recommendation matters much more than anything. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about industry jobs now, because there are only two jobs that you apply usually after PhD, is either postdoc or a industry, right?
Mhm.
Or a faculty jobs. So the industry jobs, I would say you can play a little bit there. That's why I was telling you. So I always thought that my GPA is not great enough to, because as I told you, that my GPA was like a 3.65 or 5.6, something like that, which was right around the borderline. It was not like 3.9 or 3.8. So so my advice to you would be, unless and until someone asks you, hey, what is your GPA? You don't have to tell. You don't have to mention if you're not comfortable. If someone asks you by purposely, which I really doubt, I have not heard someone really asking, hey, I need to know what your GPA is, to be honest with you. I I I don't know, but I'm not saying they don't expect, but I don't ask, I don't know if someone asks you. It's good to have a better GPA for sure, no doubt. I'm not saying that. So your first job, your GPA is gonna matter quite a lot. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you can avoid writing that GPA in your CV, not mentioning it unless and someone asks, play with your strength, what your strengths are on those CV, put those things in your CV. Don't mention your GPA, because if you're gonna mention it, 100% is gonna look bad on you. Don't mention. Okay, as I said, if someone asks, what you gonna write in your CV, what you did good, what great things you have done. And whenever, let's say you go for an interview too, as I said, so if someone asks you what's your GPA, then you have to, of course, tell. But if someone does not ask you, then don't mention it. Mention something which you are good at. Because the one thing you have to understand is, no matter what is the reason that your GPA has gone low or whatever, nobody is gonna give a shit. They're gonna straightforward, rate you based on the numbers. The reasoning does not matter, because you can get a low score in one semester or maybe two semester, but if your GPA is consistently low, that tells something about you. That means there is something that you did inherently wrong there, entire for your entire course, and it's not going to reflect. So the reasoning does not matter. So in my opinion, if someone asks you, um, what's your GPA, tell it straightforward. If they ask you what's the reasoning, come up with a good answer, because the excuse won't matter. As I said, GPA is not a reflection of, you can have trouble in one semester, you can have trouble in another semester, but not whole 4 years. So the reasoning won't matter. So at this point of time, my advice is plain and simple. Don't mention. Play with your strength. Mention what you are good at in your CV, what good things you have done in your CV, unless someone asks. And in my opinion, I mean, I have not heard anyone asking me what's my GPA. But what I'm saying is, like, once you get a job one job, the first job will be tough for you, but do good job there. And then after that, nobody will care about your GPA anymore. Then your next job will be based on your experience.
Mhm.
Okay. So what I'm not, again, I'm not saying GPA does not matter. Yes, it does matter for your first job, because there are only few things you can rate a person. One thing is GPA. So I'm not saying that, but my advice here is, don't ask, don't tell. It's as simple as that. That's the best you can do.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so now the main concern is that, okay, when I applied online, all of the
Uh-huh.
application forms, they need a GPA. And I'm thinking that, okay, I'm not gonna be in the competition with the other person in the pool.
No, so what you can do in that case is mention your master GPA. Mention your GPA for your masters.
So UCF has a cumulative GPA, so all of them is same now.
No. What I'm saying is mention your master's GPA. The GPA what you have in your masters.
In my country or here?
In your country. Doesn't matter. And I mean, whatever is a good GPA. See, what I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to tell you to lie. What I'm trying to tell you is mention your master's degree, mention that your GPA would looks better, but if it comes to your PhD, you can always say, at least now you can always say, you can mention your GPA for your whatever semester is good and mention that this is for that semester. And then when they interview you or something, if they ask you, then you can tell your, if they ask you, what I'm trying to say is, because you haven't finished your whole degree, you can still say that I don't have the full GPA as of now. You can say that still, but I will also avoid lying. Don't lie, mention there. What I'm saying is, see, what I'm trying to tell you, what best you can do. Best you can do is, don't, if they don't ask, don't tell, right? That's fair. Second, mention your master's, which has a better GPA, right? And if they ask you in your CV, you can all, if you want to write, really, if you are feeling right, just write GPA, waiting for degree to finish or something, final number. If you really want to write, I can also tell you that you can also say, when, let's say, if you go to for an interview and if a person asks you what's your GPA, you can always say, this is my current GPA, but I still have 2 more semesters to go, and that's where I'm going to get it. That's where you are hoping to improve it or something, which is more logical. Don't provide any excuse. Okay. See, I'm not saying that you were wrong, because I don't like judging people based on numbers or something, because I was never great at my studies too. I was not like, like throughout topper or something. um, it happens to people. Maybe you stuck, you were at the wrong time, but try to find it out how you can do a comeback now. What is the best way for you to do a comeback now? But if you ask me, hey, this, I got a low GPA, is gonna, now my whole life is ruined, I don't believe in that. And so I'm trying to tell you is like, what the best you can do. And trust me, it's not like if you go for an interview, people do really care about, oh, what's your GPA and all that. I mean, look at, the reason I'm saying you is, you will realize as you go along and with your life and work, uh, your social skills, your personality is gonna take you much more forward than anything else. Okay, your how would you interact with people? Your, as I said, your technical abilities will matter, and you will learn different kind of things, and you will end up doing something which is totally different. Who knows? It's not like what you do in PhD, you exactly do the same thing. I never did that. I do come I after I graduate from PhD, I never worked on the topic which I did in my PhD.
And now I know that, okay, it's an area that I did in my master research. But the thing is that now I'm a little bit far from that. And when you want to apply for the either job or either internship, you should have a currently project on that area. That's why they don't accept. And I think also you mentioned in some of your presentation and some of your videos that for the first job, you have to kind of do what you already done. But maybe for the next step, because you have a current project in this area, this is my problem. Because I know that, for example, application of machine learning recently, artificial intelligence that recently changed to the machine learning, it has a very good job positions. But unfortunately, I'm very
what
far
I'm
from it.
yeah. But yeah, Ali, you have to understand one thing. If you know a skill set you are good at, let's say you are good at running codes in MATLAB, neural network codes, and for deep learning, as an example, right? Or you're really good in writing scripts in Python, and you can write your own codes, and you can. That's a skill that can be applied in any area, right? Does not matter. Does not matter at all. You can always learn the technology. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if that is the case, make sure your CV comes out as a guy who's an expert in machine learning, not as an organic chemist. When I see your CV, I see organic chemist there. I don't see a guy who is an expert in machine learning. Maybe you want to have another CV which is totally different, which comes out as a person who is an expert in machine learning, and no matter what technology and what area you are, and you can always apply those skills. That's also work. Yeah.
Now, I want to mention something. Okay, the reason that I have, and you got it, that's okay, my expertise is maybe organic chemistry more, because my current project is in organic chemistry, and my publication is on that. For example, I have a publication in machine learning or artificial intelligence back in 2014.
No, you didn't
And
understand my point. What I'm saying it's fine. I'm a materials science guy. I always come as a material scientist. Does not matter. I have to work for companies who makes alloys. I can apply that skill set, whatever I learned in aviation technology and automotive technology and oil and gas technology and any technology. What I'm trying to tell you is, you I in my opinion you should make another CV. It's also I tell this in my videos all the time, that people or students, it's okay to have multiple CVs. It's okay, because one CV can tell you or elaborate your skill set about how good you are as an organic chemist, where other CV can reflect how good you are in writing codes, or how good you are as a ML scientist. So do that. That's going to help you a lot, because what happens is, if you're going to go out in Indeed or LinkedIn, and you look at the job, right, you will find a job who is looking for an organic chemist working for a chemical industry. Then you will find another job, they needs a guy who is really good at machine learning, writing codes for automotive company. You can then apply in both companies. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. So my point here is, make yourself broad and diverse, right? And try to go in there and have multiple CVs, because what will happen is, if you're going to just look for, let's say for example, your PhD is based on the processing of this nanocomposites using some organic solvent, whatever, right? Let's say an example. How many jobs do you think there are? Maybe 2 jobs max. But if you diverse your portfolio, where you say, okay, one CV is for where where my skill set as an organic chemist will apply, one CV is for machine learning, another CV is as an experimentalist. So that way your horizon will open up, and then you will find, oh my god, there are 100 jobs actually I can apply. And this is what you want right now. You don't want to stuck in just the silo. And trust me, that's where the learning also happens. And as I told you, I really believe in so here's another thing where people get confused. PhD is just a degree. It has nothing to do with shaping your career, right? PhD is just training. That training which really tells people that this guy has the ability to dive into any subject you give it to him or her. That's all. Does not matter. You have an ability to think, you have an ability to research, you have an ability to really look at the topic. That's what PhD is all about. It has nothing to do with topics on and all. And as I told you, I mean, I have seen this in my own career, that when I graduated in PhD, my degree was in mechanical engineering, where I worked on alloys. Then I started working on composites, on ceramics, and then I started working for fuel cell industry, and then I started working for engineering software company. And then I started working for a space company now. And the problems are different. There's nothing, there is no link. What I'm saying is whatever you learn, you bring your experience in and try to give it's a new spin. And people, industries do like that. So what I'm saying, don't worry too much about what your PhD topic is and all that. Focus on what skill set is there that you know that you're good at, and you can use that skill set in anything. Like say, for example, there's a guy who really knows how to do TM. I mean, do you really think if his PhD is based is to look on the TM of these heterogeneous structures, he can't do work for any polymer company? Of course he does. If they require someone who knows how to run TM, right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what your CV should be about. And make multiple CVs. Don't worry. Make one CV, organic chemist, second CV as a machine learning engineer, third CV, maybe you really like a topic in your master's and you really did a good job in your master's. Reflect that. Doesn't matter. And then you will realize that there are so many jobs out there that are open up. As far as your last question is concerned about PR, getting a postdoc or something, I would definitely tell you is your advisor would be the best help. I let me bring it make it very straight. If your advisor is not on board, and if he or she is not going to write you a letter of recommendation which is good enough for you to get a postdoc, is the chances are way below, not possible. I can tell you straightforward that, because postdocs jobs or letter, whatever it is just based on letter of recommendation. And when you go for industry job, they're not going to ask you letter of recommendation from your advisor, but postdocs are. And if your advisor is not on board, you are screwed. As simple as that. So if you're looking for a postdoc job, my strong advice to you would be convince your advisor. Whether it's master's or PhD, does not matter, to be honest with you. But convince someone. Your postdoc, I mean, what I'm trying to say is your doctor advisor will matter much more. But convince that person, no matter what.
Okay, I have a question here. So first of all, my advisor, because she didn't do that her PhD in the US, so she doesn't have too much connection here. And
it does not matter. It does not matter. I have friends who have done PhD in Australia and they came to US just because their advisor recommended them. It all these, see, research is global. Research has nothing to do with location.
Okay, so
connections. Yeah, go ahead.
So this recommendation means that, for example, if I apply for the postdoc, and the advisor wants to check with my advisor, it should be okay with that. You are saying that?
No, I'm saying if you are applying for a postdoc position, let's say you get pre-selected, or your what do you call, first three top positions, top candidates, they're going to ask letter of recommendation. That's what I'm saying. So if your advisor is not on board, and if he or she is not able, does not write a good recommendation, you are screwed up anyway. That's what I meant. And second thing is that your advisor should be able to help you out with your connections, and that's how you get a postdoc. Hands down. Hands down. Like, I wouldn't say 95%. That's what the data is. Okay. So what I'm telling you, then you can make this analysis in your brain, how much time you want to spend on fighting for a postdoc, or how much time you want to spend fighting for an industry job. That's what I'm saying. You have 100% of your time. Maybe you want to spend 70% of time working on an industry job and only 30% writing a postdoc, versus 70-30 other way around. Because that, in my opinion, that will be a waste of your time.
And one thing, the last thing is that I just want to do the postdoc as something for my green card stuff. I mean that probably after that, I would rather to go to the industry for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I did that too. But you have to complete your postdoc. You have to do a good job there. But what I'm trying to tell you is that what you think, but what's going to happen is different based on, again, the camaraderie between you and your advisor. That is extremely important. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time. So if you are thinking of a postdoc, if I was you, I will go talk to my advisor and get her opinion right away, and make sure she or he is on board. If they are not, don't waste your time. Think about something else. If they are on board, well and good. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time and everything. And just one last question. So it's gonna be recorded and you put in the YouTube?
Yeah. But I have. I mean, this is gonna come out in December or somewhere, not before that, because I have so many pending work right now.
Yeah, because I was talking about my GPA and something that's
about
my
don't
life,
worry.
and
I will think about it if I put on YouTube. But if I do, I will send you a link before. And if you're not comfortable, I'm gonna delete it. Okay.
Thank you
Don't
so
worry.
much.
Yeah. Don't worry. I usually
highly appreciate.
I don't put things which are which students are not comfortable with. To be honest with you.
Thank you so much. I highly appreciate your help.
Yeah. And Ali, as I said, don't worry. I think you are fine. Just focus on right things. Put your energy where you gonna see an output, and don't believe in too much hope. Oh, maybe this will happen. I would say, I mean, I'm gonna summarize here. If you are going for a postdoc, talk to your advisor first. If she or he is not on board, I won't even waste time getting a postdoc. I will put all my energy applying for an industry job. And I told you what to do with your CV and all that. Focus on that. Trust me, you will find a job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
I highly
Bye,
appreciate
Ali.
your help.
Yeah.
Thank
Not
you.
a problem,
Bye.
Ali. Yeah.
Have a good
Keep in
rest of
touch.
day. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Bye.